Across Canada today, the weather pattern clearly reflects a lingering battle between winter's cold air and the gradual push of spring. And nowhere is this contrast more evident than across central and eastern regions like Ontario and Quebec. Cities such as Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal are experiencing a persistently cloudy and chilly setup, with daytime temperatures hovering between 3 degrees C and 8 degrees C. But the actual feel outdoors is noticeably colder due to steady winds pulling in cooler air from the north. This type of setup is typical for early April, but what stands out is the lack of sustained warmth and the continued instability in the atmosphere, which is allowing pockets of light rain and even flurries to develop in some areas. The presence of mixed precipitation indicates that temperatures in the upper atmosphere are still cold enough to support snow formation, even as surface temperatures flirt just above freezing. For anyone planning to go outside in these regions today, conditions are not severe, but are uncomfortable and potentially deceptive, as the combination of dampness and wind can quickly lead to a drop in body temperature, especially during longer periods outdoors, so layering and wind-resistant clothing are strongly advised. Moving westward into British Columbia and Alberta, the weather becomes more varied but still unsettled, reflecting the influence of Pacific systems interacting with lingering cold air inland. In coastal areas like Vancouver, conditions are relatively milder compared to the rest of the country, with temperatures ranging from 8 degrees C to 12 degrees C, but the trade-off comes in the form of persistent cloud cover and intermittent rainfall. This is a classic maritime pattern where moisture-laden air from the Pacific Ocean dominates, keeping temperatures stable but skies gray and conditions damp. While it may not feel particularly cold, the continuous moisture can make outdoor activities less appealing and increase the risk of slippery surfaces, especially during heavier showers. Further inland in Alberta, including cities like Calgary and Edmonton, the situation becomes more complex, as fluctuating temperatures allow for both rain and snow showers, depending on the time of day and elevation. This variability is driven by unstable air masses and passing weather disturbances, meaning conditions can change quickly within a few hours. Residents should be cautious when traveling, particularly in the morning or late evening when temperatures can dip enough to create icy patches on roads, even if daytime conditions seem relatively mild. Across the Prairie provinces, including Manitoba and Saskatchewan, winter's grip remains more pronounced, and today's weather continues to reflect that persistence. Daytime highs between 0 degrees and 6 degrees C may not seem extreme, but the presence of snow patches, flurries, and strong winds significantly alters how these temperatures are experienced. Wind chill plays a major role here, often making it feel several degrees colder than the actual air temperature, which can catch people off guard if they rely solely on forecast numbers. The landscape in many areas is still partially snow-covered, and with intermittent snowfall continuing, visibility can occasionally be reduced, particularly in open rural areas where winds are stronger and can blow loose snow across roads. This creates a hazardous environment for drivers, as sudden drops in visibility combined with potentially slick surfaces increase the risk of accidents. Anyone planning to travel across these regions should be prepared for rapidly changing conditions and should consider delaying non-essential trips if visibility worsens. In Atlantic Canada, including Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and Labrador, the weather takes on a different but equally challenging character, with a dominant pattern of cloudiness, dampness, and periodic rain or drizzle. Temperatures in the range of 4 degrees C to 8 degrees C are typical for this time of year, but the combination of moisture and coastal winds creates a raw, penetrating chill that can feel colder than inland areas with similar temperatures. The proximity to the Atlantic Ocean ensures a steady supply of moisture, and this keeps skies overcast while also increasing the likelihood of fog in some coastal zones. Reduced visibility due to fog or steady drizzle can pose challenges for both drivers and marine activities, and the damp conditions can also impact daily routines by making outdoor work or travel less comfortable. While severe weather is not the primary concern here today, the persistent wetness and low visibility mean that caution is still necessary, particularly on highways and coastal roads. Further north, across Canada's northern territories, winter remains firmly in control, and there are few signs of spring making meaningful progress at this point. Temperatures remain well below freezing, and snow and ice continue to dominate the landscape, maintaining conditions that are typical of midwinter rather than early spring. The stability of the cold air mass in these regions means that while extreme weather events may be less frequent, the environment itself remains harsh and unforgiving. Travel in these areas requires careful preparation, as icy surfaces, deep snow, and very low temperatures present ongoing risks. Even routine outdoor activities can become dangerous without proper clothing and planning, as exposure to cold can quickly lead to frostbite or hypothermia. Overall, the weather across Canada today highlights a transitional period that is far from stable, with different regions experiencing varying degrees of winter's lingering influence. While there are no widespread extreme weather events dominating the country at this moment, the combination of cold temperatures, mixed precipitation, wind chill, and damp conditions creates an environment where caution is still necessary. For most people, going outside is certainly possible, but it requires preparation and awareness of local conditions. Light rain or drizzle in some areas may seem harmless, but when combined with low temperatures and wind, it can lead to discomfort or even health risks if exposure is prolonged. Similarly, regions experiencing flurries or snow showers may not see heavy accumulation, but even small amounts of snow can impact travel and visibility. The key takeaway for today is that while spring is gradually approaching, it has not yet established itself firmly across much of the country, and winter-like conditions can still return at any time, even during the day. Anyone heading outdoors should dress appropriately for colder than expected conditions, remain aware of changing weather patterns, and exercise caution when traveling, especially in areas where snow, wind, or reduced visibility are factors.